3 kicks. That's all it takes. 3 kicks and your front door explodes inward. Like it was made of cardboard. Because functionally, it was. Hurricane Katrina, 2005. New Orleans descends into chaos. The disaster exposed critical failures in emergency response systems at all levels. Residents faced impossible choices with limited law enforcement presence and widespread breakdown of services. Military deployment eventually restored order. But those first 72 hours demonstrated collapse completely. Some prepared families successfully protected their homes. Others did not. The lesson is clear. You must be your own first responder. That's Louisiana. That's what happens when the social contract disintegrates overnight. Here's what I'm covering today. The actual threat profile, not the zombie movie version. The physics of turning your house into something attackers skip. The weapons that work in hallways, not gun range fantasies. The operational security mistakes that get you targeted before anyone even kicks your door. And the brutal calculus of community defense versus solo survival. This is real. This is documented. This happens every time the system cracks. This might be the most important video on my channel. I've been analyzing emergency response data and talking to people in different regions. The infrastructure problems aren't getting better. In Albuquerque, 911 response times exceed 40 minutes for nonviolent calls. Sometimes civilian responders show up instead of police. Sometimes nobody comes at all. There are safe places in America, absolutely. But there are also places where the system is already failing. And only you can ensure your family's safety. Let's start with who's actually coming for you. Part 1. Understanding the threat. Not all threats are created equal. Your response to a desperate single mom trying to feed her kids is different from your response to 3 guys with rifles doing coordinated entries. Let's categorize this properly. Tier 1, the opportunist. This is someone walking down the street, seeing your door slightly open, no lights, no sound. They're looking for the path of least resistance. A broken window. An unlocked car. They want in and out in under 3 minutes. Any sign of resistance, any barrier, any risk, they move to the next house. This is 70% of your threat profile in the first week of collapse. Statistics show 85% of home invasions are committed by non-professionals. Opportunistic criminals who exploit easy targets rather than planning elaborate schemes. Tier 2, the desperate amateur. No prep, no plan, no skills. But they're starving. They watch their kid go to bed hungry for the 3rd night. Desperation overrides survival instinct. They'll take stupid risks. They'll try the door even if it looks reinforced. They're dangerous specifically because they're irrational. Think of a cornered animal. You can't predict them using logic because they're not using logic. Tier 3, the organized group. This is where it gets surgical. 3 to 7 people. They've done this before, maybe in a riot, maybe in a war zone. Maybe they're just ex-military who decided the collapse was a career opportunity. They scout. They watch your patterns. They know when you leave, when you're home, whether you have weapons. In conflict zones, organized groups use systematic reconnaissance to identify valuable targets. They're looking for signs of resources, working lights when the grid is down. The smell of cooking food, the sound of generators. Those indicators become target markers. The organized group doesn't want to fight. They want easy wins. But if they decide you're worth it, they'll bring overwhelming force. This is the apex predator of collapse. Rare in week 1, common by month 2. Tier 4, the violent predator. Everyone forgets about this one. This isn't about resources. This is about power, control, sadism. Research shows that in 47% of home invasions, victims are physically injured. Some attackers use extreme violence. Not as means to an end, but as the goal itself. During breakdowns in social order, these individuals emerge from the shadows. They're not desperate. They're opportunistic psychopaths who see collapse as permission. Law enforcement data shows these predators often target the vulnerable: elderly, single parents, children. They use deception to gain entry. They pose as authorities, utility workers, injured people needing help. Once inside, the intent isn't theft. It's victimization. This threat type is rare, maybe 5% of encounters. But it's the most dangerous because negotiation, deterrence, and warning shots don't work. They're not looking for an easy score. They're hunting. Your entire defense strategy revolves around one principle: make yourself a harder target than the house next door. The opportunist moves on immediately. The desperate amateur hesitates. The organized group recalculates the risk-reward ratio. The violent predator looks for easier prey. Nobody wants a gunfight when there are 10 other houses on the block. But here's the thing nobody tells you. The biggest threat isn't external. It's your own mouth. Part 2. Operational Security. In 2012, after Superstorm Sandy hit New York, social media posts showing generators, full freezers, and comfortable setups became inadvertent advertisements for thieves. Multiple reports documented that visible displays of resources, whether online or through windows, correlated with higher rates of theft. The lesson is simple. Advertising what you have in a crisis makes you a target. Operational security is the art of being invisible when everyone's looking. And in collapse, everyone's looking. Rule 1. Your neighbor is not your friend when his kid is starving. I don't care if you've barbecued together for 10 years. Hunger rewires the human brain. Historical records from prolonged sieges and famines show that starvation pushes ordinary people toward extreme behavior. The Siege of Leningrad during World War II documented over 1,500 arrests for cannibalism during the 900-day blockade. That's just documented cases. How many went unrecorded? How many other horrors occurred that never made it into official records? Normal social bonds break down when survival is at stake. That's not pessimism, that's documented history. Do not tell people what you have. No hints about your supply closet. No jokes about your bunker. No showing off your shiny new generator. Every person who knows you're stocked is a potential threat vector. Rule 2. Look poor, smell poor, act poor. If you're the only house with lights on, you're a target. If you're the only person on the street who's not losing weight, you're a target. If your lawn is mowed and everyone else's looks like a jungle, you're a target. Collapse camouflage isn't tactical gear. It's looking exactly like everyone else, tired, hungry, barely hanging on. Wear the same torn jacket every day. Don't shave. Keep your kids' clothing deliberately worn. It's theater, but it works. During the Bosnian War, families that maintained appearances of normalcy, clean clothes, healthy weight, got robbed faster than families that looked destitute. Rule 3. No noise, no light, no smell. That generator you're so proud of, it's a dinner bell. Every two-stroke engine scream says we have fuel, we have power, we have resources. Run it sparingly, muffle it, bury it if you can. One guy I know built an underground generator room with baffled exhaust vents. You can't hear it from 20 feet away. Blackout curtains aren't optional. They're survival equipment. Any light visible from outside marks you as operational. Use red or dim light inside, nothing bright. Cook smells travel hundreds of yards downwind. If you're frying bacon and the neighborhood smells like desperation and sewage, you've just announced breakfast is served to everyone within smelling distance. Simple methods. Boil or simmer food instead of frying or roasting. Those cooking methods produce minimal odor. Use aluminum foil to seal food while cooking. It traps most smells. Cook bland foods without spices. Freeze-dried or MRE meals require almost no cooking. Boil vinegar and water in a small pot while cooking. The steam absorbs food odors. Cook during early morning or late night when most people sleep and wind is minimal. These aren't perfect, but they cut detectable cooking smells by 70 to 80%. Rule 4. Hidden caches, not central storage. If someone does get in, give them something to find. A decoy stash, some canned goods, a little cash, maybe some batteries. Let them think they scored. Meanwhile, your real supplies are buried in the backyard, hidden in false walls, distributed in locations only you know. This is straight from Syrian survival manuals. Never keep all resources in one place. False walls aren't complicated. Drywall, some studs, paint that matches the rest of the room. Hollow furniture, buried PVC tubes. One family in Venezuela during the economic collapse kept rice and beans inside a fake septic tank access in their yard. Nobody checks a septic tank. I'm preparing a comprehensive video on how to properly and effectively hide supplies. The techniques, the psychology of searchers, the mistakes people make, the materials that work. This topic deserves its own deep dive because doing it wrong means losing everything you've stored. So far, I've established who's coming and how to stay off their radar. Now let's talk about what happens when staying invisible fails. Because it will. The question isn't if someone tries your door, it's when. Part 3. Hardening your home. Your door is held in place by 3 to 4 screws. Standard construction screws, half-inch penetration into soft pine. A decent kick generates about 800 to 1,000 pounds of force. Your door frame will explode like balsa wood. That's the reality of residential construction in America. It's built for aesthetics and building codes, not defense. The average front door can be breached in under 30 seconds with no tools. With a crowbar or a battering ram, make it 10 seconds. Let's fix that. Solid core door, not hollow. Solid wood or steel. The door itself isn't the weak point. The frame is. The strike plate, that little metal thing around the lock, is held in by those pathetic screws I mentioned. Replace them. 3.5-inch exterior grade construction screws, threaded all the way to the head, not those decorative deck screws that snap under pressure. Drive them through the strike plate, through the frame, into the actual wall studs. This upgrade costs about $12 and adds maybe 600 pounds of resistance. That opportunist. He just broke his foot trying to kick your door. He's moving on. Add a deadbolt, not a cheap one. A grade 1 ANSI rated deadbolt with a 1-inch throw. Install it yourself. It's 4 screws and a drill. Most people have decorative locks that wouldn't stop a determined teenager. If you want to go further, door security bars. The kind that wedge under the handle and brace against the floor. Physics is simple here. It's a lever. The attacker has to overcome the entire length of the bar, plus the friction against the floor. Tests show these can withstand over 2,000 pounds of force. That's more than a car jack. Some people get creative. Aftermarket door barricades that mount on the wall and swing into place. Drop bars like castle gates. A guy in Florida welded steel brackets on the inside of his door frame and uses a 2x6 timber to barricade it at night. Medieval, effective, cheap. As an absolute last resort, if you can't replace the door itself, custom metal plates. Cut steel or thick aluminum sheets to cover the door and frame, bolt them through into the studs. This adds maybe 400 to 600 pounds of resistance without full door replacement. It's ugly, it's obvious, it's far from ideal. But it's better than a hollow core door held by decorative screws. Hardware stores sell 16-gauge steel sheets. A single 4x8 sheet costs about $60 to $80. Cut it, drill it, mount it. Emergency hardening on a budget. Glass breaks. It's designed to break. Safety glass, tempered glass, it doesn't matter. One brick, one hammer, you're in. This is your biggest vulnerability. But here's the critical problem nobody talks about. Every modification you make to keep people out also keeps you in. That's not theoretical. That's fire code reality. You're creating a trade-off between security and emergency egress. And you need to understand that calculus before you start mounting bars and boarding windows. Security film, 3 to 4 mil thickness. This stuff holds glass together even after it's shattered. It won't stop entry, but it slows it down. Instead of 5 seconds, now it's 30 seconds. That's enough time to respond. Cost, about $80 to $150 per window if you install it yourself. The advantage, it doesn't trap you inside. Glass still functions. You can break it from the inside if you need to escape a fire. Polycarbonate panels. This is riot shield material. 1/4-inch thickness, cut to size, mounted inside the window frame. You can still see out. Light still comes in. But short of a sledgehammer or gunfire, it's not breaking. This is what they use in high crime areas, embassies, places that expect trouble. Home Depot sells it. You cut it with a circular saw. The problem, mounting method matters. If you permanently install these, you're creating a potential death trap in a fire. You need quick release mechanisms, or the ability to remove panels from inside. This is why fire codes in many jurisdictions require bedroom windows to be operable. You're balancing intruder defense against fire escape. Both can kill you. Choose your risk profile carefully. The cheap, fast solution, plywood. 3/4-inch exterior grade, not OSB. That stuff disintegrates in weather. Pre-cut sheets to fit your window frames, pre-drill holes. When things go bad, you can board up every window in under an hour. The downside, it's obvious. A house with boarded windows screams valuable stuff inside. You're trading stealth for hardness. Choose based on threat level. More importantly, once those boards are up, you're sealed in. House fire, gas leak, any emergency requiring rapid evacuation, you now have to remove barriers while smoke is filling rooms and visibility is zero. This is how people die, not from intruders, from their own security modifications. Bars and grills, permanent, visible, effective. They also turn your house into a prison. If there's a fire, you're potentially trapped. Statistics show that homes with window bars have higher fatality rates in fires specifically because occupants can't escape. Check local fire codes. Most areas require quick release mechanisms on bedroom windows. These are interior releases that don't compromise external security but allow emergency egress. If you go this route, make sure every adult and older child in your home knows how to operate the quick release. Practice it at night in the dark under stress, because that's when you'll need it. And here's the thing most people forget: window wells. Basement windows, those little half windows near the ground. Attackers love these. They're out of sight, easy to break, and lead directly into your house. But they're also critical emergency exits from basements. If you're sealing them with permanent barriers, make sure you have an alternative exit route from that space. Multiple people have died in basement fires because their only exit was barred or blocked. The intelligent approach, layered defense that maintains emergency egress. Security film plus interior lighting that creates the illusion of activity. Thorny landscaping that makes approach difficult but doesn't block the window itself. Motion-activated lights that expose anyone attempting entry. These methods deter without trapping you inside. Think about your household. Kids, elderly, disabled family members. Can they escape through your security measures? In smoke, in darkness, in panic? If the answer is no, your security system is a liability, not an asset. Landscaping isn't just for curb appeal. It's tactical terrain. Blackberry bushes under windows. Rose bushes with 2-inch thorns. Thick hedges that create natural barriers. This is what military bases call defensive landscaping. It looks normal, it's legal, and it stops casual intrusion cold. A properly placed hedge can funnel attackers toward entry points you control. It can block lines of sight from the street. It makes your house harder to approach quietly. And when someone's trying to climb through thorns at 2 a.m., they're making noise, they're slowing down, and they're bleeding. Gravel paths instead of grass near entry points. You can't sneak across gravel. It's nature's alarm system. Some people spread it around the entire perimeter. Cheap, effective, low-tech. Motion-activated lights. These scream occupancy. But here's the trick. They also scream security conscious. Attackers avoid houses with visible security. Is the light itself stopping anyone? No. But the psychology does, most of the time. There's an entire world of perimeter intrusion detection. Electronic motion sensors, wireless alarm systems, pressure mats, infrared beams. even old-school tripwires with bells or cans filled with pebbles. The technology ranges from $20 battery-powered door alarms to multi-thousand-dollar professionally installed systems. This is its own science, entirely dependent on your budget and technical skill. I may cover this in a future video because the options are vast and the implementation requires careful planning. For now, understand that early warning of intrusion is just as important as physical barriers. If you want to keep your family safe when the system fails, subscribe. I analyze what others ignore. Part 4. Defensive Tools. Before we continue, let me be clear. This is educational content about self-defense principles and home security. I'm not advocating violence. I'm teaching defensive strategies for protecting your family when law enforcement cannot respond. Everything discussed here is in the context of legal self-defense within your own home. YouTube's educational content policies prohibit detailed discussion of lethal weapons application, so I'll keep this section focused on what you legally can possess, and how to think about defense in general terms. If you legally own firearms, understand this: they are the most effective tools for stopping an immediate lethal threat to your life inside your home. But they are always the absolute last resort, when your life is in imminent danger and there is no other option. The legal, moral, and psychological weight of using lethal force is massive. That's all I can say on that topic within platform guidelines. Most people don't have access to firearms. Most people are operating with what's in their house right now. So let's talk about reality. The wooden baseball bat, the tire iron, the heavy flashlight, the kitchen knife. These are not optimal defensive tools. They require you to be within arm's reach of an attacker, which is exactly where you don't want to be. But they're better than nothing, and nothing is what most people have. A 3-foot length of hardwood, properly swung, can deliver enough kinetic energy to break bones. That's physics. The problem is that swinging it effectively under stress, in confined spaces, against someone who may be larger, stronger, or more violent than you, requires physical capability most people don't have. Improvised weapons also require commitment. You can't hesitate. You can't hold back. If you're using a blunt object for defense, you're in a fight for your life. Half measures get you hurt. This is the brutal reality that tactical instructors teach, but most people can't internalize until it's too late. Heavy-duty pepper spray, the kind in the large canister format, can stop an attacker at range. 10 to 12 feet of distance between you and a threat is a massive tactical advantage. The problem, it doesn't work on everyone. It can blow back in wind, and you need to practice deployment under stress. But it's legal, accessible, and non-lethal. Hardened flashlights, the kind that weigh 2 pounds and have strike bezels, serve dual purpose. You need light to identify threats. That same light can be used as an impact weapon if necessary. Brands like Maglite aren't just for illumination. Here's what most people miss. The weapon doesn't matter if you can't use it effectively under stress. Your hands will shake. Your vision will narrow. Your fine motor control will disappear. This is called sympathetic nervous system activation, and it happens to everyone in life-threatening situations. Practice matters. If you have any defensive tool, practice with it. Not once, regularly. Muscle memory is the only thing that functions when your conscious brain shuts down under adrenaline. Age changes the equation. Reaction speed decreases, strength diminishes. This is normal biology, but regular training maintains capability far longer than most people realize. And here's the strategic advantage nobody talks about. Looking older, weaker, less threatening is camouflage. When an attacker expects no resistance, your response can be overwhelming. The element of surprise, the shock of facing competent defense from someone who appeared vulnerable, this can end confrontations before they escalate. Perceived weakness as tactical deception. It's not about being a hero. It's about calculated misdirection that makes attackers choose different targets. Scenario training. Walk through your house at night, lights off, and try to navigate to your safe room or defensive position. Do it while your heart is racing from exercise. See how different it feels when you're not calm and collected. The goal of any defensive tool is to create distance and opportunity to escape or get to a more defensible position. You're not hunting intruders through your house. You're protecting a specific location, your family, your safe room, until the threat leaves or help arrives. Wasp spray gets mentioned a lot in prepper forums. Can it blind someone temporarily? Potentially. Is it designed for that purpose? No. It's pesticide, and using it as a weapon may have legal consequences. But people mention it, so I'm acknowledging it exists. Fire extinguishers. ABC-rated dry chemical extinguishers create a disorienting cloud that obscures vision and breathing. They're in your house already for legitimate purposes. They also happen to be effective area denial tools, and they're legal everywhere. Bright lights and loud sounds. Psychologically, intruders want easy, quiet entries. Anything that exposes them or draws attention makes them reconsider. This isn't stopping a determined attacker, but it filters out opportunists. Whatever tools you choose for home defense, you need to understand the laws in your jurisdiction. Castle doctrine, stand your ground, duty to retreat. These vary by state, and can mean the difference between justified self-defense and criminal charges. The use of force in self-defense is one of the most legally complex areas you can encounter. Even in states with strong castle doctrine laws, you can face criminal prosecution and civil lawsuits if the circumstances don't clearly support your actions. This is why documentation matters, why understanding your local laws matters, and why having legal representation matters. The aftermath of any defensive encounter is not like the movies. It's investigations, potential arrest, legal proceedings, and psychological trauma. Even when you're legally justified, you'll carry that event for the rest of your life. This is why every defensive tool should come with a massive mental threshold. Use only when there is literally no other option and your life is in immediate danger. Part 5. Tactical response. Everything I've told you so far is preparation. But preparation fails. Doors get breached. Windows get broken. You wake up to someone in your house. What do? Recognition. Is this an actual threat or is it your teenager sneaking in? Sounds stupid, but people have shot family members in panic. Identify before you engage. Assess numbers. One person? Multiple? Do they have weapons? What kind? This determines your response. One unarmed person is a different problem than 3 armed people. Decision point: engage or hide. If you have kids, elderly, disabled family, your job isn't to fight. Your job is to protect them. Sometimes the tactical decision is to barricade in a safe room and call for help, assuming help exists. Sometimes you have no choice but to fight. Safe room. Ideally a bedroom with a reinforced door, a lock, and a weapon. You get your family there, you lock it, you call 911 if 911 still exists, and you cover the door. Anyone coming through that door is a threat. You're not hunting them through your house like an action hero. You're creating a defensive position they have to come to you to breach. This is the advice law enforcement gives. It's good advice if law enforcement is coming. In collapse, law enforcement isn't coming. So you're buying time for what? To outlast them. To hope they give up and leave. To wait for them to realize you're not worth the trouble. If an intruder is in your house and you must defend yourself, here are the principles that apply across all defensive scenarios, regardless of what tools you have available. Verbal commands. Stop, leave now, I am armed, or simply get out. Loud, clear, authoritative. This serves multiple purposes. It gives the intruder a chance to leave. It alerts your family to danger. And it creates a legal record of your warning if anyone else is within earshot. Distance equals options. The further away you are from an attacker, the more time you have to react, assess, and respond. Close quarters eliminate your advantage and create physical danger. Maintain maximum distance whenever possible. Cover versus concealment. Cover stops attacks. Concealment hides you, but offers no physical protection. A brick wall is cover, drywall is concealment. A refrigerator or thick wooden furniture is cover. A couch or curtain is concealment. Position yourself behind actual protective barriers when possible. Use your phone if it's working and accessible. Don't expose yourself by looking around corners or through windows directly. Hold the phone around the corner. Start video recording. Sweep through the angles you need to see. Pull back and review the footage. This keeps you unexposed while gathering intelligence on how many intruders, where they are, what they're armed with. Many people forget this simple tactic that can prevent you from getting shot while gathering critical information. The goal in any defensive encounter is to stop the immediate threat to your life, not to pursue, not to engage beyond what's necessary. You want the threat to stop so you can secure your family and call for help. Every action you take should be focused on that objective: stopping the threat, protecting your family, and surviving to see law enforcement arrive. If you survive a home invasion where you had to use force, you're entering a complex legal situation. In normal times, you call 911 immediately, you cooperate with police, and you contact a lawyer before giving detailed statements. Document the scene with photos if possible, but don't move or alter evidence. Your documentation shows forced entry, damage, and the justification for your actions. In collapse scenarios where law enforcement may not respond, the legal framework becomes uncertain. But the principle remains: preserve evidence that demonstrates you were the victim defending your home. Photos of forced entry, damage to doors or windows, any weapons the intruder brought. This documentation becomes your legal protection if and when normal legal processes resume. The biological and health risks of any aftermath situation are serious. In situations where emergency services aren't available, you face potential disease transmission, contamination of your living space, and environmental health hazards. This is why professional emergency response exists, to handle these situations safely and legally. In their absence, you're facing problems that require professional knowledge to address properly. The psychological impact of any violent encounter is significant and long-lasting. Even when legally justified in self-defense, people experience trauma, guilt, and lasting psychological effects. This is normal and expected. If possible, seek mental health support from professionals who understand trauma. Part 6. Community Defense. One house alone is a hard target. A neighborhood working together is a fortress. But here's the ugly truth: most people won't cooperate. Most people are not prepared. Most people will become liabilities, not assets. You need 3 types of people: muscle, brains, and medics. Muscle means people who can hold a weapon and won't freeze. Brains means people who can plan, coordinate, solve problems. Medics means people with medical training, even if it's just first aid. Trust is non-negotiable. One person who panics, one person who talks to the wrong people, one person who decides to steal from the group, and your entire defense collapses. Vet carefully. Start now, not after the crisis starts. Most people I know in this space don't trust their neighbors enough for coordinated defense. That's honest. Building a functional defensive community takes years of relationship building, shared values, and practice. Not just drinking beer together on weekends. I'm talking about years of deliberately building trust, testing reliability under pressure, establishing shared protocols, and proving commitment when it costs something. Most preppers are solo operators by choice because this level of community building is rare and difficult. Radios. Ham radio, FRS, GMRS. Doesn't matter as long as you can coordinate without cell phones. Establish frequencies, codes, schedules, practice. If the power goes out and you're fumbling with radio settings in the dark, you've failed. Visual signals. Lights, flags, chalk marks. Low-tech, reliable. During the Bosnian War, neighborhoods used curtain positions to signal safety or danger. Open curtains meant clear, closed meant threat present. Simple, effective. Observation posts, rotating watches, 24-hour coverage if possible. This is exhausting, this is boring, and this is how you don't get ambushed. Most military casualties happen because someone got lazy on watch. Civilian casualties are worse. Choke points. Force attackers to come through areas you control. Barricades, debris, natural obstacles. Make every approach visible and covered by defensive positions. This is basic military doctrine applied to suburban streets. Defensive positions. Cover, clear fields of fire, escape routes. If you're setting up a neighborhood defense, you're essentially creating a small military fortification. Study how it's done. Read military manuals. They're free online. Coordinated community defense sounds great in theory. In practice, it requires leadership, discipline, shared resources, and trust. Most neighborhoods can't agree on garbage pickup schedules. Expecting them to coordinate armed defense during a collapse is optimistic at best. The people who survive are usually small, tight groups. Family, people who've known each other for years. Trying to organize strangers under stress is a recipe for disaster. My advice, have a core group of 2 to 5 people you absolutely trust. Build from there if you can. But don't depend on mass coordination, that probably won't happen. Final synthesis. Here's what you do today. Check your doors. Replace the screws in your strike plates with 3.5-inch construction screws. That's 30 minutes and $12. Install a security film on your windows or pre-cut plywood sheets. That's an afternoon and maybe $200. Buy a weapon if you don't have one. Train with it. Not once. Regularly. Dry fire every day. Live fire monthly. Get actual instruction from professionals. Practice operational security. Stop telling people what you have. Look average. Blend in. Become boring. Build relationships with people you trust. Not many. 2 to 5. People who think like you, who prepare like you, who won't panic when things get bad. Run scenarios. What happens if someone breaks in at 2 a.m.? Where do you go? What do you do? Where's your family? How do you respond? If you're figuring this out in real time, you're already dead. This is not paranoia. This is pattern recognition. Every major city in the world has neighborhoods where this is daily life. Caracas, Johannesburg, Detroit in the 1990s, Port-au-Prince, São Paulo favelas. Humans haven't evolved past violence. We've just outsourced it to police and military. When they're not there, we revert. The average response time for police in rural America is 11 minutes. Subtract police entirely, and it's infinity. You are your own first responder. Always have been, always will be. Look, I know this is heavy. I know it's uncomfortable. Most people watching this will never experience a home invasion. But the ones who do, the ones who didn't prepare, they're statistics. The ones who did prepare, they're survivors. Bottom line, upgrade your door security today. Install window protection. Get training with your defensive weapon. Practice operational security. Build a small trusted network. These 5 steps could save your life and the lives of everyone you care about. One more thing. Everything I've discussed today is for informational and educational purposes. Consult with licensed professionals, legal experts, and local law enforcement about the specific laws and regulations in your jurisdiction. What's legal in Texas might be a felony in California. Know your laws. Don't become a criminal while trying to protect your family. Take care of yourself. Take care of your people. And stay sharp out there.